Who are you?
Matt Nicholson.
Matt. Okay.
Thing has been clicked.
A polite way of saying what's your name.
That's right.
Right.
If anybody has any problems being on the internet, Trevor, hold your peace now.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Live? What?
Lindsay dove out of frame.
Are we good, Kyle?
Oh, yeah, go.
Let me step forward out of the projector light. Hello and welcome to the May FamiLAB member meeting. If you have problems being recorded and streamed on the internet, we stream this on the internet. So
You're in the wrong place.
Yeah. Dan is running late, so we'll circle back around to financials so that he doesn't have to try to speak and drive at the same time. It would be very bad if he died. So first order of business, Dave Woods has officially sold the building. So we have new landlords effective this month. Not a whole lot's going to change for a lot of the membership because we haven't met them yet. We've talked to them. They seem nice. So
and our lease is until 2025?
Yes, our lease is, we still are under the same lease until 2025. So nothing major changes just yet.
Did you know you're standing in the exact right place for the hang up button to be right here on your forehead?
Oh, well.
Sorry.
Yeah, I can see it. Okay. Anyways, thank you to Dave Woods for being an amazing landlord for many years and also an amazing member. We super appreciate everything he has done for the organization and everything he continues to make because it's awesome. Maybe now he'll have more time to make stuff. Second order of business. I'm just going to bounce around the agenda. We're going to be doing some Slack cleanup here in the next week or two because we have an overabundance of Slack channels. So we're going to pare that down a little bit.
You get a Slack chan, and you get a Slack chan.
Yeah, like we don't need that many Slack channels, and it can be kind of intimidating for new Slack users that are like, why are there so many?
And where do I post?
Yeah.
Everybody's in these channels with less than 10 people. Why can't bring some of that activity back to the ones with 25 people?
Yes, because Slack has this amazing feature called threads, and if something's going to be a very long conversation between two people, they can take it to a thread if it's relevant or whatever.
Tell that to my coworkers.
Dan
invite me to your Slack.
Still not. I'm out of really pausing time.
Workshops, classes, how can we help?
Workshops. Yeah, we really want to see more people at lab. We would like to see more people at lab. So if anyone has an idea for workshops, classes, shindigs, get them on the calendar. We are not gatekeepers of that. Basically, any member can use the space or put any class or workshop on the calendar. Post in events and classes to do that. And if there's anything that we can do to help, let us know. AC update. So the FamiLAB AC is still down. The AC guy came out. We need a new fan, but so do a lot of other places in the area, because apparently several weeks ago when the AC died, so did a lot of other people's. So we're waiting for that. The wood shop AC is completely dead. The compressor is shorted, and we were quoted $8,000 to replace it, and that's a lot of money. Dan left the meeting. Does that mean he's walking in?
Probably, maybe.
So he would have more details on that because he was with the AC person.
Yes.
So I am done stalling for Dan.
Thank you for your stalls.
Yeah, perfect timing. We just finished talking about the AC.
Something, I don't know if it was just my phone when I got off of the car Bluetooth to just on the phone, but the audio went really weird. Like it was like slowed down by like a factor of 5 or something.
That's true.
Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
So here's Dan. He can round out any AC update and then go into financials and router.
I didn't hear because of that. I didn't hear the last bit you said about it. But the short story is the repairing the one that's out in the one that's out in the workspace is very expensive, much more than.
Just turn this and you can stand out of the light.
Much more than we would want to pay at this time. So we're going to forego on that one, but get the one in the FamiLAB fixed and some maintenance on the one that is the other one out in the lab. I'm still actually waiting to hear back from Jay, the AC guy. Who's the AC guy who stepped in originally here? By the way, out of curiosity,
I don't remember.
Neither do I, but that's what he told me at least. So we're waiting. We should be hearing from him. I should have heard from him today, but we'll be bugging him once again tomorrow. So that's the update on the AC. And in general, financials are good. We've got a good buffer in the bank. We did lose one member this month, but we got a few new faces that are hanging around, so that's really awesome. I think the only other thing that I had to give an update on was the router. Basically the build on that is it's going pretty well. I think it'll be up and running pretty soon. There's one part of it. There's one thing that's because of what we were doing, where we had some parts that had been bought from a previous attempt to rebuild it, and we were trying to make good use of those. There's a couple things that are that we've got to kind of figure out a couple little decisions on. One about how the new router frame or the frame out there that maybe asking for some help or suggestions on that. I know the motors that were bought before were actually not the same ones that should be part of this kit. They're actually just same mounting. They're just a little bigger and beefier. I think the design of the router won't really matter for that because they're kind of out of the way. They don't. The longer part doesn't stick anywhere it shouldn't. And there was one thing that had to order one more little set of parts, but those should be in by tomorrow, Wednesday or Thursday at the latest. But I'm hoping that I'm going to get back in as soon as those parts come back in later this week, and should get most of the actual mechanism part of it done. And then, like I said, maybe just reaching out to a couple people to ask for a bit of help and suggestions for how to get it mounted on the existing frame. So.
Awesome. I'm available to help.
Thank you.
I don't want to do it all, but mounting something to something is easy.
Yeah.
And when you do get stuff going, posts.
Yes, yes.
And take pictures so we can make a blog post.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we have a blog?
We have a blog, and then we could like social media it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I think we had a post like a year and a half ago.
Thank you, Dan, for taking care of money stuffs. Open for discussion if anyone would like to have anything in the official meeting or show and tell. What's people been up to? What have you been making? What's been going on in your life? How's the kids? How's the car? I thought you were getting something out. Okay.
Just to be like, just kind of an interesting bit of note on AC. The AC that was on top of the FamiLAB, that AC was original to the building. The AC that is on top pointing into the metal shop was new when the original other AC that was in the warehouse died. And the AC that was over in the wood shop was in the building when we moved in. So it's old. It's not like we paid for it when we moved in. And then.
So we broke Dave's stuff is what you're saying.
But it's not.
It's not Dave's stuff anymore.
Not Dave's stuff anymore. Yeah. I remember that because we actually, just before we opened, the AC that was on top of the pointing of the metal shop, that one died, and we replaced it with a 4-ton unit. Just interesting remembrances.
I didn't even think about that. Mike knows about the AC.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike, for your holding of knowledge in your brain. I'm not going to say thank you. Upcoming events. This Saturday, it says May 19th. It's actually May 21st at 3 p.m. will be the Open Make Microcontrollers workshop. So if you want to come in and hang out with people making microcontroller stuff and have questions, work on projects.
That Arduino and similar types of things. So yeah, please come out. We had a great time last time.
Did you say the 21st
That is this Saturday,
Yes, the 21st.
at 3 p.m.?
Yes.
3-ish.
3-ish.
You don't have to be there right at the start or at the end. It's just expect people to be there during that time frame.
Okay. What's the current lab policy on masks?
If be respectful if people are wearing masks, they're not a requirement.
Okay.
Okay. No more questions?
I have a show and tell.
Ooh, show and tell.
And it's, oh man, you're gonna love it. It's not even a circuit.
What?
That's my usual show and tell is some kind
Electrical or otherwise?
of electrical. Yeah.
So it's just a bunch of wires with no terminations.
I mean, it could be a hydraulic circuit.
It might be that.
Mhm.
It's not computing though. Here's me. Here's my face. But
Oh,
where's the button to make it go the other way? Oh, there it is at the top.
I think Mike's outside.
Look at this.
So is it a self-powering whirlpool?
Well, I mean, it's powered by a motor, but yes, it's a whirlpool. It's my perpetual vortex fountain.
That's
Uh,
it's gonna rain.
Oh.
Hi, Mike. You can turn off your camera
And
now.
now half of the people need to use the bathroom.
It's actually a lot quieter than it used to be.
Awesome.
It's cool.
That's all I got. Vortex fountain.
Right. Well, awesome. Thank you for showing that, Mike.
I could show and tell. I've been gone for a month.
Yeah, Blackheart's been out of town, so he hasn't been able to make anything, even though he was working on
Well,
some modern film.
yeah. So, Screen Cherry. That's what I was working on. I was at Coachella. So the company I work for flew me out. We were doing the broadcast AR for their interstitials, and there was going to be a number of artists, but a couple of them pulled out. It ended up just being Flume set. But basically, the whole idea is this was live in camera. So anybody who was watching the live stream was getting like this live composite with camera tracking of all of these like AR elements in the scene. So these like exploding flowers and things. A lot of this was collaborative with Epic, like redoing some of the cinematic assets from some of Flume's music videos, and then some of these like bumpers were stuff provided by the Coachella artists themselves. I'm in there for like all of 1 second. You see just a chin and a nose.
Definitely a Blackheart mustache.
Yes.
Cool.
But it was cool. It was a lot of work. It was like a 90-something hour week just trying to get this all together because real time is difficult. Very difficult. But the end result of this and the past few projects that we've been working on, doing like live AR and XR stuff, the company I work for is now the first partnered company with Epic in the United States. I think there's like one other company. They're starting like this partnership program for like broadcast and television. So when clients come forward and like we want to do this real-time stuff, they start pushing it onto broadcast companies to help them out. And we're like the first ones in the US to be partnered with them. So that's cool. I think
Congrats.
it was a ton of fun. It
Now,
was
Charlie.
also a ton of stress. But the frickin' meal hall they set up was like really well done.
Just for crew, right?
This was just for the crew, which was a lot. Like it looked like a freaking circus. It's great.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to think what else was.
Did you actually get to look around the event at all, or were you stuck behind the scenes almost the entire time?
Oh no, there was a little bit of time to like walk around and see what was what, but a lot of the rest of it was just sort of LED screens and things that are around. There were a couple of like indoor like XR stuff where they had like projector screens, but for the most part, my world was just these broadcast trucks. And they had a little 360 cam out there. I don't know why, but it looked like the thing that Luke trained with the lightsaber in the first Star Wars film. But
They
it
called
was
it a remote, I think.
something like that. It was a ton of fun. Not a very large space, but basically the rack in the back there was 6 servers, I believe. There were like 4 for the main cameras and then 2 backups. No, 3 for the main cameras, a backup, and a control machine that was then sending UDP commands to the other ones. Yeah, and then right after that, we went from being in the Indio Valley for Coachella to going to Las Vegas to do NAB. And so we were running, helping Stipe run their booth, which is all like live camera tracking and like live green screen, which is separate from True XR. The stage doesn't look all that impressive, but the extra impressive thing is that the panels are actually from 2 different manufacturers from several different batches. So the color calibration process between them was a nightmare, and somehow it worked. I was very surprised how well it worked considering. And the fantasy scene that we had going on their screens is actually something I'd worked on the month before, based on Minas Morgul from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's what I remember you showing me a pic of that.
This whole scene, which was fun. Oh, and then the other thing that I worked on kind of was I had decided from the last trip I'd taken, I was definitely going to take a one wheel with me because I didn't want to go 2 weeks without being able to ride. So I'd gotten a pint so I could fly with it. I'd taken the one wheel with me, and then I got back and realized I kind of hated the stock pint feel. So I ended up rebuilding the board. And then this week, Lily was there while I was actually redoing it again because I did a battery upgrade on the board. So taking it apart, having to solder a hack chip onto it so it would actually accept the upgraded battery, which basically involves having to take these side rails are aluminum extrusions, and then the board itself is held together by screws that are holding the foot pads to like clamp everything together on both sides. I'm getting stuck on myself. There's a million screws on the bottom, but basically you take the 10 screws out of here, pull this off, you have to disconnect the control wires, remove the side panels, and then have to pull the control box completely open to get to the battery and the BMS, and then solder a chip onto there and stick a new battery in there. And I had to do it twice because the first time there was a short circuit. Which made it think it was charging when it wasn't even turned on, so that was fun.
At least
I've
that's all
taken
it
it. That's all it did. Yeah, no, it's actually working now. I've taken it on the trails again since, and like even knocking it around, it doesn't seem like anything's coming loose, so that's good. But these are a ton of fun. The little like segways without the handle things that they call hoverboards, they're a lie. This makes you feel like you're hovering. This feels like the Back to the Future anti-gravity skateboards. You just feel like you're floating. It's great.
Nice. Was that chip one of the ones that that whole lawsuit was with JW, or is that different?
It's a JW chip, and they call it a no cut chip because you don't have to cut any of the BMS wires and reroute those. The only wires that you have to actually solder on is just getting 5-volt ground to the chip to power it, and then it's just got not
like
JST, but similar to JST connectors to actually intercept the battery signal.
Neat.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to for the last several weeks. Is lots of travel and too many hours and riding. I think when I was gone for 2 weeks, I'd ridden 100 miles in that time. So it's like 40, 50 miles a week again. I ride too much.
Lord, I'm tired of listening to all that. Like, a lot of work in both of those.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it pays the bills, so it's fun.
Well, awesome.
That was me.
What?
So that was me.
Good job being awesome.
Hey.
We're gonna move to new member introductions. So y'all that are here, one of you gets to go first. Not Mike, you're not a new member. Sit down.
Spin the wheel. Do we not
Oh.
have a spinning wheel?
That one's broken. That one's broken. That one has a light on it.
They all have something on
We
there.
all have something on it.
This one has an important monitor on.
Heavy.
I was just assisting with the stool.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
So you're up front.
I'm up front.
You
All right,
come
I'll go first. All right,
Introduce yourself to the
first
group.
everybody.
Tell us-
Everyone. Yeah,
You don't have
I know,
to sit on
but
the
no,
stool.
but you went through the trouble of getting it. I might as well just use
It's
it, you know?
block comedy
It's-
at this point.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you want to, I can kneel on it too. That would work better, right? So, like, yeah.
No, we're not.
However you think the stool should be used.
So introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, how you came to.
Hi everyone. My name is Eric. I'm actually an engineer. I work for, I don't know if you can see it from my shirt, I work for Tango Laser Systems. Yes. So I pretty much work with lasers and optical scanning systems all day. I have a background as an electrician and just tinkering and breaking shit and putting it back together. And one of my interns from UCF told me about the place years ago. And I kept on saying, it's like, I'm going to go next week, or I'm going to go next month, or I'm going to keep looking into it. And then next thing I know, I'm like, you know, working 70, 80 hours a week, or I'm in Guangzhou, China, or in Dubai, like, you know, helping customers or doing stuff. So it's like, right now we have a little bit of downtime, mostly because
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're just waiting for semiconductors to become available again. So
That's so weird.
Yeah.
so I figured I have a few projects. I have a baby on the way with my girlfriend, so I want to see if I can like get started on that crib. I got till November to build it up, so.
You're gonna wait until October.
So I'll wait. So yes. So right around October, you know, right around Halloween, I'm gonna start cranking it up. So. All right. Well, that's me. So.
Anybody have any questions?
Yes.
What's your favorite fandom?
You know, the last couple of years I've really gotten, you know, into like the Marvel MCU. Like at this point, I'm pretty much caught up with all the shows that have come out and all the movies. Just watched Doctor Strange last week, and I'm still processing that. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I need to watch that one.
I don't want to spoil anybody, so if somebody hasn't seen it,
this weekend.
So yeah, I'm like, well, see, I'm the guy. I don't watch trailers at all.
Cold turkey, right?
Like, yeah, I go like whatever, like hit me, like come at me, bro. Like,
We have a Slack channel that's probably going to get condensed into movie.
Stay away
and
from it.
So
Just stay away.
basically, what we do is we'll have threads. So we'll say Doctor Strange spoilers within, and then if you open that thread, guess what? It's fair game.
Well, see, here's the thing, right? I've been tricking my YouTube and Facebook algorithm to think that I hate superhero movies.
Okay.
So every time I see one, I flag it as irrelevant or I report it, so it doesn't show me any of them anymore. So, wait, you're broadcasting? Damn it! I'll have to start again. So.
Nah,
The algorithm knows all.
show me more.
Yeah, it's gonna show you more. Okay, all right.
So you work on
Dun, dun, dun.
what side of the laser systems do you work on?
So pretty much the galvos that move the beams. I pretty much I do calibration for the galvos. I also do the electronics for the servo controllers. I also dabble a little bit into like the whole repairs of optics, the alignments. One of the benefits of speaking Spanish is that whenever there's a trade show and you need to talk to customers in Spanish, like that's why I'm always on the road. So like I've picked up a lot just from talking to the other techs and to the people that are on the road and that kind of stuff.
How's your Chinese?
Horrible. Horrible. I can only say ni hao.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
I've spec Pangolin products in places before, so
Uh-huh.
I'm very familiar with your product line.
So yeah. Yeah.
Working in themed entertainment is fun.
Yeah. I used to be a ride and show tech at Universal, and I haven't been to a theme park in like 10 years because it beat it out of me. Like I just can't go to a theme park anymore. It was just
I have a question. Does your company make the lasers themselves?
Our partner in Slovakia, Kavant, they do. So
Okay.
we get all of our modules, we get all of our stuff from there. We actually act as an OEM for them for like the controllers, the semiconductors that protect the laser diodes from ESD, and we also provide them obviously the scanners and the galvos. Yeah. Why? Somebody interested in getting some lasers?
Always.
Actually, no. I was interested in selling you a laser.
Oh God! Well, I need a new test projector. So.
Okay. What's the highest power laser y'all use?
Internally for testing, about 200, maybe 250 milliwatts. But we got reported at the Orlando International Airport because we had a 300-watt laser pointed at the sky. So.
I had a 100.
It's a bad signal.
Well, back then our office was like a mile and a half from the airport.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't disclose those anymore.
So there was a project I was working on in China that's long since been canceled because the company is going bankrupt that was doing it. But one of the things for their nighttime spectacular show was to use your guys' lasers, and we're going to do 50 to 100 watts worth of a scanning laser directly in the sky.
Yes.
Because of where it was on the island, there were no airplanes that flew overhead at all. It was essentially a no-fly space.
Yeah. Well.
And they were going to let us do it. And we said, this is going to be super cool.
Yeah.
And then the company went bankrupt and it's going to collapse the entire world economy. But
it sounds about
that project was canceled.
Well, a funny story on that one. Have you been to the Hard Rock Hotel in South Florida? The one in the shape of the guitar that has. Well, we worked on that project. And when my boss was there, like talking to the people that were in charge of the building and that were like sourcing the project, FAA drove all the way up to there and told them, it's like, you cannot have these lasers over here. This is not going to be, this is not going to be okay for flights. Yeah. And pretty much the guy in charge of the project just told him, it's like, this is a reservation. You have no jurisdiction over here, so fuck off. So yeah, so yeah, so now that building has like I think from 2 of the sides they have the 6 strings from the guitars just shooting straight up, as soon as the sun goes down. So it's like, okay, cool. I think every single one of those is like 300 watts. Wow. So yeah, just shooting up at the sky. So yeah.
Awesome. Yep. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys.
We're gonna move to the next person. Al has volunteered. So come on up.
Hello, my name's Al Hammond. My son and I play guitar, and we're going to make guitars that we wish we could buy here at the FamiLAB because they don't make. We want to create different pickups and different pickup patterns and to pull like just a signal off one single string of a piezo, and because I back pick a bass beat on the 6th string as a rhythm guitarist, so I want a piezo that only sits underneath the 6th string, and you can't buy that. So anyway, that's why I'm here.
Are you gonna wind your own pickups here and everything too?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. My son plays
it by hand, or do you set up some kind of rig to do it?
We'll probably do it by hand when we do it because my son, we'll really do my son's because you can buy the ones that aren't scatter wound easier, and he plays lead and he likes them hot, so I'm sure he's going to want to start scatter winding each of them that we make. And we look forward to using the CNC machine so that we can refine the profiles of our necks and play with one for a few months and be like, okay, now I need a little bit more off here, and you know, just the stuff that you can't buy at Guitar Center.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're not very interesting, but we kind of.
That's kind of interesting.
I guess I don't know.
Everything's interesting to someone.
Yeah. The other thing that we do is we came to music from hacking music, so to speak. I only have one finger on my fretting hand that works. And so we lined all the strings up in a G chord, and I bar everything. And we did that just because he was 10 at the time, 9, and wanted to start playing guitar. And so I figured if I could just hang with him long enough that he could learn 3 chords, and a teacher could teach him how to play, then I would have done my job. But we figured out a way that I could play, and now I want to make, in addition to making the guitars that I can't buy for myself, making the tones that you can't, buy from Guitar Center. We're also going to make them to teach kids how to play music with only 2 frets on the guitar, or a 0 fret, and put it in an open G or open D or open E, and then a fret at the 5 position and the 7 position. So just squeezing in 2 different places, they can play 1-4-5 songs.
Yeah.
And teach people music that way without.
I mean, that'll get you 80% of the way to every popular song ever written.
I know, every rock song, and then if somebody learns how to play, 1-4-5s with 2 frets, then I can add a fret at the 9th position, and you can add a couple more frets and have the diatonic, the do re mi scale, but without the ones in between, and it will be freeing for people, I think, or at least I hope. We'll see. That's our little experiment, to see if that frees people to learn music without the tedium of learning how to play with all 6 fingers before you learn, before you get to have any fun.
Have you tried making the guitars out of rosewood?
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I hear great things about this stuff. No, actually, it's kind of funny, and it's appreciated to be part of a community, because I literally have a rosewood fretboard at home that is going to be on the next 2 builds we make, and I was only going to cut it 1 stripe down the middle with a Japanese saw, or the saw here now. But
We've got Japanese saws here.
It's good to know that I mean, I learned a little something about rosewood that now I don't have to learn on my own itching. Sorry about that, Roger, but thank you.
3 weeks before I figured it
out. Oh,
Yeah, we've got some dust collection. Make sure we get that set up before you do anything with it.
No, count on it, man.
Worse than poison ivy. Worse than poison
ivy. Is there dust collection that hooks up to each of the woodworking machines?
We were given a larger dust collection rig that is kind of janky and needs a little bit of finagling to work, but otherwise it's supposed to work.
We have a vacuum over there that hooks up to all the machines, but we don't have a centralized dust collection yet.
No, but I can drag a vacuum to the thing that I'm working on, and clear that. Then
I was getting to that part where I was going to say we have a few vacuums. I don't know if their filters are any good, but we have a few vacuums.
At least one of them has a good filter, and it's the best one. So
why not?
Because it has a filter.
Mostly. Does anybody have any additional questions for Mr. Al?
I have a question.
Please.
Are you planning to also leverage the 3D printer?
I haven't thought about much in the 3D printer. When you say 3D printer, is that the CNC machine, or are those different machines?
It's a machine. It's additive manufacturing, so it adds material, plastic specifically.
I don't know yet how additive manufacturing is going to add to it. I know the CNC and the precision routing is going to do great. That said, I'm looking forward to understanding how to work with CAM and its output, which I presume would give a lot of similarities. And as I start to realize the capabilities that can be added, I'm sure that I'll find ways to use it. What is it? How hard is the material that can be printed with? Are there varying strengths
It's a wormhole.
That's a whole rabbit hole you're getting into.
And then, of
Okay.
course,
Plastics.
There's a cabinet full of stuff that's 3D printed right up there behind all of
and then,
Oh,
of course,
cool,
there's
wow.
the tweaking of the settings used for a print that determines how flexible or not something is.
And you can use, even if you don't use 3D printing for a final product, you can use it to make things like
Prototype.
jigs and
Oh.
prototypes and
Yeah.
stuff.
Or
So
molds.
stuff that you
Or
don't
molds,
necessarily
yeah.
wanna,
Yes.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
or even you could even, I'm sure there's somewhere on it, but like if you want to get
Wow.
a thing like position of frets or something on a fretboard. Like I'm sure somebody's already made one that you could use to use as a gauge.
Right.
To put 'em.
No, thank you. There's
But yeah, they're like it's not just useful for making things, it's also useful for making things that make the things. Or
Right.
fixing the things once you make the things and then break the things.
yeah, I like that thought.
It is a wormhole, so we will be here all night if we can.
So the best part is when you learn that to make the printer work, you have to print things on another printer to make that first printer work. So
Oh,
you
that's
get
funny.
two
Right,
printers.
right.
Yeah.
We
Excellent.
have printers here now that are hobby enablers instead of hobbies themselves.
Interesting.
Wow.
Right. What? How do I understand that there are
I started
classes
all-
or
I'm gonna
trainings
continue.
for using the laser
Yes.
etcher or laser? What are those, or how does one get involved in those? Because
You ask in Laser Chan and
okay, in Slack, right on.
it's a roughly 1 hour class or so.
I think I can handle it.
Mostly of the how to use it, and more importantly, how not to kill everyone in the building while you're using it.
That'd be. I'd like to know that.
Yeah.
I'd like to know that.
Yeah.
It's not visible lasers, so I don't know.
I
if you-
know, yeah.
It's not gonna take
Yeah,
down
Yeah,
airplanes.
actually, no, actually non-visible is more dangerous than visible laser, so,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
You can't tell it's killing you.
Yeah.
Oh, you can.
Yeah,
It will
you can.
hurt.
Usually
Yeah,
when you're
you will.
dying.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Al.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you so kindly. Look forward to working with y'all.
Post meeting, we can go down rabbit holes.
Yeah, if you're in the lab, they can show you the printers around the corner.
I'll ask a question to the next person. Hello, introduce
Hi.
yourself. What do you do? How'd you find us?
So my name's Adam. I'm FamiLAB on the Slacks. So if I look remotely familiar, I've been around for a bit. I actually was hanging out a little bit at the old storage unit location.
Oh, wow.
The last time I've actually been here, other than last Tuesday, was before you moved into this one from the other one.
You don't look 100.
So I found out about it. I used to work with Willa. I used to be part of DC 407, so I used to come out for that, help with the first couple of B-sides Orlando's, and then I got super into Solar. Actually, I think I started traveling way too much for work. So I do computer security stuff, was a pen tester forever, accidentally changed careers a little bit because they hired me for a job I interviewed for, and then the job that they actually hired me for wasn't that job, which was good because I was totally burnt out, and so I do a little bit more slightly the same, but I don't attack things. I'm more recon-y type stuff, so it's fun. And I work with developers because I haven't really programmed since 2004, so learn new stuff. But so I'm back out. I was getting into a rut of things and signed up for a bunch of classes randomly, and one of them was a wood turning class that I took last couple weeks ago, and realized I could go buy a lathe or I could come use a lathe here and pay for a membership and never even come close to what I spent on a lathe. So plus all of the other things. So, and I have, like I'm sure everybody else, 19 half-finished projects that I assume if I'm around other people who are creative, maybe it'll inspire me to finish them. Or just start new ones. That's cool too.
Yeah.
Distraction. That's all. That's the name of the game. So, but that being said, I want to learn all the things, and so I'm gonna bug you and so I have a knife making class in 2 months, sewing class. I sign up all the things, but all the stuff here I'd like to learn how to use. So if anybody's in a teaching mood, I like stuff. So
You mentioned that you were a pen tester. What's your favorite kind of ink?
so I'm finding out that, well, I won't go there yet because I haven't found out yet. But my handwriting is just so god awful that I don't touch pens personally. I wish I did because I feel like I could. I was really into like calligraphy and stuff like that, but I literally cannot write. So I appreciate the joke, but I actually I have a sad answer because I really can't. I cannot write.
You might be writing in another language in
You
years.
need to get a good power pen is what it comes down to.
That's what I would get into, because I know I have friends who have who are like ink fetishists and stuff like that. and-
Mightier channel?
I think it got converted or.
We have so many damn
Yeah.
channels. If you didn't hear, over
Oh,
the
I
next
heard.
couple of weeks, we're going to be
Oh,
paring down the channels.
As you were saying that, I was
Yeah.
going through and joining channels because I haven't spent time to do it. But to get us back on the 3D printing topic, because we're talking about me. So in 2020, I had an Ender 3 like everybody else did. In 2020, I decided I needed to build something. Wanted to learn about about electricity, not electronics. And so building a Voron, since it's from scratch, which is a printer for people who don't know, I kind of got into that, and then started getting way too into that and helping out with them. And now I'm accidentally a crew member for Voron and have 6 Vorons, and that's one does. So when they break, you can print new ones.
They always seem to multiply.
Yeah, well, so the problem is you have leftover parts, and then you realize, well, I have 17 screws. That's basically another printer. And then you just buy another $1,000 worth of equipment, and now you have another printer, and now you have 17 screws left over, which is why I was about to build a CNC, because I have like a single piece of like aluminum extrusion. That's basically a CNC.
And what do you do when you need a new pair of side cutters?
Probably 3D print it. But yeah, so 3D printer stuff, which someone was talking about getting things to stick on printers. I mentioned this nano surface stuff. I'm going to put it in with the 3D printers because I don't use it. Just if anybody needs it, steal it because it's expensive. So
My prints adhere too well.
I have the same problem.
Yeah.
I just know how to use my printer, so I like it.
If I don't use the glue, the print works. If I do use the glue, it stays attached forever.
So this stuff is basically a nice releasing glue that you pay $50 for, but it lasts a super long time.
I use a bed
I bought
that has,
3 glue sticks for 50 cents.
Right, but it sticks. This stuff.
so I use a bed that's a
Textured PEI. It is the answer.
And what's great
Yeah,
is that
PEI
it
is the
really,
way.
really well while it's hot. As soon as it cools down, it just pop.
Yeah,
It just releases.
right off.
that's how textured PEI is too. I was a what do we, I don't even know what we call them. I printed parts for Voron to send out to people who wanted to build their printers, which is this whole. If you've ever been involved in that channel or that's Discord, it's a whole thing. You have to run through this entire rigmarole to get approved and have your prints that are perfect and all this kind of crap. But you go through PEI really, really fast because the second you get a scratch and it leaves it on there, you will disqualify yourself from the program. So you end up buying a lot of it. So yeah, that's what I do. And I actually don't print very often anymore because now it's like, oh, I need a thing, I'll print. But yeah, but I want to learn all the things I can hurt myself with. That's about it.
So what can you teach us?
Oh, I didn't actually say where I'm at. So I'm at Intuit now, so we can learn about financial technology if you care.
Oh, jeez.
I know it's in no way exciting at all.
I was wondering why I inherently hated you.
Well, I've worked at
Tell you
many.
how much bullshit.
I've worked at many
QuickBooks
places you can hate. Oh no, I know that. So I don't work on any of that though. I try to track down who we are on the internet because we don't know ourselves. So I'm a
Yeah, if you could tell Intuit support, specifically their payroll support, to go fuck themselves and
They
help
won't
them
even
find their asshole.
We can't even get a
Oh, it's
discount on
QuickBooks.
QuickBooks. So
It's 100% QuickBooks. Don't even get me started on QuickBooks. Jesus Christ.
but you know what?
So everyone on the internet now knows your opinion.
Yeah, but
Just threw yourself under the bus there.
But I can afford to pay due membership as well. So that's the important part. Yeah. I do fun things. They literally don't pay attention to what I do. I do whatever makes sense at the time, and maybe it'll be useful, maybe it won't. Nobody cares if it's not useful. So I have fun. But any questions other than why does Intuit suck? I was gonna say that was a good way to not get questions.
How would you like to talk about the IRS? No, never mind. Like,
Don't get me started.
it's like
When
into
they
it, the
can-
IRS and
when
Bank
they
of
can hit
America.
their deadlines, they can
Boom.
start requiring us to hit ours.
Yeah, good job, Mike.
Nobody used to.
Hello. introduce yourself. Tell us what you do and how you found us, how you came to us, where you.
I'm Matt Nicholson. I think I first heard about you guys at Hamcation, so I think it was the 2019 one, the last one before COVID.
You don't look 100 years old.
No, I don't use boat anchors. I don't have like, you know, a boat anchor rig with like tubes. I do have my general that I've never used because I never had an HF rig or an antenna to use with it. Yep, Roger told me. See, I'm a software engineering manager in my day job, which means I don't actually do any real engineering anymore, which is one of the reasons why I want to come hang out here and actually like build stuff again. And I probably will not finish hardly any of them, but that's, you know, just how it works. I was also pleasantly surprised you guys have a dark room because I've done analog photography, 35mm medium format. I have a 4x5 camera that, you know, I put some sheets through. Haven't printed in a while, used to develop at home. See, I have 3 arcade machines that are hiding at our office downtown because that was how I got them out of the house to make my wife less annoyed with me without actually completely getting rid of them. So I have a Centipede that works great, but the cab is a disaster. I have a Asteroids that works great, except for it needs to be completely recapped. And there's a desoldering station here, which I did not have and wasn't gonna get and make room for at home. And I have a Junior Pac-Man board that has some weird glitches that resocketing everything didn't fix. So I have plenty of those types of things at home. I want to make like a bar top.
We had the guts to a bar top somewhere around here. I don't know if it went away.
Yeah.
Well, bar top?
Yeah, a bar top.
Bar top arcade.
We had the whole cabinet.
I think it went away.
Effects. Because someone said they were gonna.
Well, we did have that table when we didn't have a bar top.
Yeah, it went down to Maker Effects because someone there said that they were gonna work on it, and last time I saw it, it was covered in dust. There
so
now.
if you want to build a tabletop, we can bring that one in.
Nice.
We can call him.
The bar top was going to be my 2020 project, and then, well.
Then just 2020 happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I have I have everything but the wood.
Have you ever been to Free Play Florida?
I have not. I know what you're talking about, but I haven't been there.
You should really go. It's
Yeah.
our friends and
Gasp! I'm shocked.
Let's see. What else? So photography. Okay, I actually dabble in like assembly language stuff, not so much microcontroller stuff. So I want to do that. I think I have like a Pi Zero and a couple things like kicking around in my laptop bag. Let's see.
Not a lot of highs.
No, well, they're also surprisingly hard to order right now. So I have a handful at home. See, what can I bring to the lab? I don't know, a lot more unfinished projects. I wish I could say I knew how to keep Slack channels from just proliferating until they're everywhere, but my work struggles with that too.
There's only one way to do that, and that's to turn off channel creation, and we don't want to go quite that heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Not yet.
I'm sure there's a bot you can like apply to make a channel and you get 5 votes, and then it lets you.
The last time someone made a bot for our Slack, it responds to every time someone says something is awesome, and we can't figure out how to turn it off.
Thank you for telling me about that. I can't wait to start using it.
Oh, I'll turn it off. I'll just remove my credit card from the Heroku account. It'll turn off.
It says, I agree. That's awesome.
Beautiful.
It's one line in the bot. We just have to get the GitHub to sync to the Heroku.
Like we said, like many people have said, unfinished projects. We just haven't gotten around to it.
Depending on what you have to process sometime soon, I've got a batch of they're black and white chemicals, DF96 monobath that I'm going to mix up and experiment with. And then I also have a set of CN2 chemicals, which is a modern ECN2 process, which is the cinema film developer for color.
Yep.
So I've got a set of that to mix up. I just have to accumulate enough rolls before it makes it worth it, since it only is going to last a few weeks before it starts getting not good anymore.
Yeah, I never did color or slide. It was all black and white. Let's do it at home. I did it in Creole Day a few times over in North.
I do mostly developing of the film here, and then I take it home and scan it. I do very little printing, although we have all the stuff to do printing. Yeah. Up to 120. We don't have a 4x5 and larger. I think we might have one.
It's up in the rack.
Yeah.
The big Godzilla thing.
Yeah. We might. It probably like that.
I used to really like. I still really like XP2. It just doesn't work as well for me as it used to be because our office is at Mills 50. It's right across from Colonial. Mm-hmm. So I get a roll of XP2, drop it off across the street, get it developed for $3, and then go home and scan it. And it scans great because it's C41 process. Mm-hmm. So like all the anti-dust, anti-scratch stuff just works.
Yeah.
But then Colonial like raised the price of developing, and it takes forever. It went from like 20 minutes, like, oh, come back like next Thursday, maybe it'll be done. And like, all right.
Yeah, if it's something, because I know there's two of us that use it pretty regularly right now, myself and Chester. But having more people would be great. That way we could even keep fresh chemicals. Yeah, like we've got some one-shot style stuff in there now. We've got like GDX. I'll show you later. But yeah, it's nerdy film stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's like saying
no, sorry. I just saw FamiLab's response come up saying that something was something like a full 60 seconds later.
But we kind of do a communal system. Like I'll bring some chemicals sometimes, and someone else will bring something, and like share and replenish them when they get empty.
FamiLAB had to think. It said after careful consideration. So sorry for detracting.
I started.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Do you watch classic video arcade repairs?
I like it was a John's Arcade as a channel. He did that for a long time.
Well, there's only two. I thought you might be the other guy.
No. I think I have a YouTube channel that has like 2 golden hole-in-ones over the last 10 years.
It's some guy up in Detroit chugging beer, fixing component level repairs on.
Yeah.
And he's got the big Fluke microprocessor debugger tool.
Oh,
where
cool.
You plug it into the socket, and you can check all the RAM and all the ROM.
Yeah.
I'm sad. I live it very sadly.
We have down here a nice old logic analyzer. I don't know if we have the cable set for it, but it does work. The cable set existed at one point.
They're probably here somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably around. It's probably in here.
Yeah.
Those are very handy.
See, fandoms a lot. B5. I'm one of my few friends who's not like really scared for the reboot because like I hope it'd be good, but I'm curious what they're gonna do with it. I didn't drive it tonight, but my Explorer has the specialty plate DS9 fan.
Okay.
So, but if I want to just throw something on in the background when I need to get work done, and I usually just throw on like a random episode of the original series.
So what do you think of the new Star Trek?
Which one? So I watched the first episode of Strange New Worlds. I liked it. I'm about halfway through season 2 of Picard. I was not happy with the way season 1 ended. It just like too many like weird plot things just like snagged me, and I just couldn't get. Yeah. The last episode of Picard season 2 I watched was like the Glee, what some friends might have like not friendly called the Glee episode, where he like started singing at the event.
Yeah. It has its highlights. I wouldn't say the ending is wonderful.
And then Discovery is kind of like up and down. I really like the first season because I'm a sucker for the Mirror Universe, so they had me with anything with the Mirror Universe. Spoilers if you're like 3 seasons behind on Discovery, I guess. I was actually a little disappointed with the opening of season 2 of Picard that they weren't in the actual Mirror Universe. So Discovery kind of up and down. I think I've watched like most of season 3, not necessarily in order. My favorite, hands down, is Lower Decks though, of the new ones.
Yes, agreed.
Yes.
Did you watch Orville at all?
When it first came out, but I didn't keep up with it.
Is that the set-top phone?
Yeah.
And it's about to, the next season's about to come out for that too.
Really? Well, he 100% did it that way on
Yeah,
purpose.
like, it's not even funny a lot of times. It's just they just remade it.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. It's like in the first season, the early episodes, they were really funny, just joking all the time. But then that tapered off really quick. And I'm very convinced
they ran out of ideas.
He didn't have, because he got to a point where he was like, all right, they've signed season 2.
Yeah.
All right, time to cut the humor and get to the good shit.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, Seth MacFarlane can actually make a good show? Holy
I'm
shit.
only a few episodes in. I was just really surprised that it was a clone of.
Season 3 starts in like a month.
Have you ever seen the home movie that he did, like when he was really young?
Yes.
Of the Star Trek episodes, like an episode of the old series.
Mm-hmm.
It's
at the risk of us falling down another road, because I feel like Star Trek is just like 3D printing, where we'll talk all night. Thank you for introducing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just so we can wrap the official meeting, and then we can hang out and bullshit whatever we want. That concludes our meeting.
I just want to say that I have a Cerritos pry bar.
Oh,
Nice.
Does it have a purple stripe though?
Well, there wasn't an energy creature to extort for it.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for coming to the meeting. This concludes the official agenda. We'll leave the meet open for a bit and we'll be hanging out. Stay safe and dry out there in the rain and thunder and lightning.
I mean, it's been more than half an hour. There's a good chance it stopped already.
No, I heard it. I hear it.
The radar was showing everything. I think it's
Literally
very parting around us.
There is definitely still lightning outside.
It's just like, yeah, completely.